Good morning, traders. This is Ed Carter with the Trader Vision 2020 featured trade idea, the setup and trade plan for Monday, October 1st, 2018. I apologize for the lateness. Had a little video issue that I had to re-record this. So Monday's featured trade idea will be WETF, Wisdom Tree, WETF. As you can see, it has been in a long-term downtrend here, pretty much the entire year, with a small spring rally in there. And, well, I guess not so small, 6 weeks rally before crashing down again. But over the last couple months, it has formed a base. And over the last 3-4 weeks, the bulls have stepped in to start a bullish trend here. A low, a high, higher low, higher high, hopefully a higher low, and moving on. We have broken in last week into a rounded bottom breakout, and you can see that as of Friday we have completed a Morningstar type signal. That body is just a touch too big to call it a true Morningstar, but it is essentially the same psychology of the market here that's on display. So that is a bullish indication. If we go out here to, let's go to an 8-day, that has fewer candles, makes it a little bit easier for me to see than a weekly. I use both. But if we go out here to an 8-day, you can see where we've had some potential support and resistance along this level just above where price is now, and then on up here we've got some reactions, highs and lows in this area here, about 910, again up here around 950, 960. Again, we've provided support in the past and resistance as well, and then finally up here around 992. Again, we can see some reactions where price has decided that this is an area that we need to watch. So if we use that as targets and go back to the daily, this is the plan, or what it would look like here. I am looking at 3 targets because the target area is up here at the 200 on a rounded bottom breakout. That's the target direction or area. However, as you'll see, we're not sure we have enough time to reach that, so we have to plan that out with that in mind. We can look at a stop just below the bodies of these last 3 candles, which also happens to correspond to resistance for the past month. And that also is where the 50 is, basically. If it's below there, I don't really want to own it, so that's where I'm going to place my stop. You could move your stop a little bit above that. You might move it down just a little bit, give it a little bit more room to work, but let's work with that. I'm looking for a positive trading entry. This 855 is a potential resistance area, something in there. These lines are never meant to be 1 penny wide. So if you wanted to wait till the 850s, to make your entry, that's fine. If you wanted to make an inside day buy, that would be fine too. If it opens up lower and then rallies back up, you could make an inside day buy and get yourself a little better price. And the targets up here that we talked about, you can see how there's a little gap fill on the daily that defines that 910 area. So that's where the first target is. And then you can see how we topped out up in this 857 area. And it also provided some shelf support over here. So that's going to be the second. And then the third target is up in this area, if we can reach it, which is about the 200. It provided a little bit of resistance here and a little bit of support over in there. So that is what we'll be looking at in terms of the 3 levels. Let's go ahead and do the trade plan again. Let me close it and just start again. So Wisdom Tree reports here probably around the end of the month, around someplace in the area of October 27th, give or take a day or two. And we're looking at 4, which I'm going to call 5 bullish indications or conditions, and 2 bearish. The reason I say 5 is because this is close enough to the body of that star candle. Does not technically meet the definition. You can see it's a little bit more than a doji there, but I'm going to say that's close enough to call that a morning star type of signal. That would make that 5. The 2 that we have are bearish are as we would expect. The symbol has been in a long-term downtrend, and that has not turned bullish yet. The 50 is still trending down. So this is a bearish symbol long-term trend at this point. And the short-term market has been in a pullback also, has not reverted to a bullish trend yet. So that's the short-term market bias. We have plenty of liquidity. So let's go ahead and plan this out. I'm going to use 3 exits or targets based on the chart, but again, we may not get there. We may only get it in 2, so we'll plan it a couple different ways. Fortunately, Trader Vision makes it easy for us to do that. I'm going to plan with an 850 entry, and I'm going to call this 822. Okay, 822 stop. I might put that a little bit higher to be above the 50 there, but you know, it's give or take. That first target up here, let's call that 907, and that second target, let's call that 950. Oh, 55, just make a round number there. And let's call it 990. $989. Actually, let's make this 954, and we'll leave that as 989. Let's call this 500 shares, and that 500 shares gives us a 4% position. I'm not going to argue with that this morning. And let's plan this out multiple ways here. Let's start with if we sold 200 shares at that first target, we would get our 2 to 1. We'd be making almost 7%, 6.7% there, and we'd be risking $140. If we sold the whole position there, we'd only be making $285, so we wouldn't get the goal that has been set for this particular account for demo purposes. In fact, we need to get to 920, which is, 13 cents above that first target, in order to achieve our trade goal. But that's not too much of a stretch. If we were able to make that second target and we sold another 200 shares, we'd pick up 12.25% there, and that would have us up to almost a 7% trade overall. We would have booked $294 in profit at that point, and had 288 or 2.88 to 1 as our reward risk as of then. Of course, we could sell the entire position and achieve our goal easily. But if we can hold on to that third chunk until we reach up around this 990 area, we can actually pick up over 16% on that third piece. That would give us almost an 11% trade and $461 in profit. Okay, let's look at a second set of plans because we don't even have quite a month left. Let's assume that we can't make that third target, and let's change this to a just selling 250 at that first target. That would give us 2.04 to 1, but make a little bit more money, 142.50 there. And if we then sell the remainder at that second target, Let's assume we can make those two targets. That would give us a 9.5% trade overall and a $402.50 profit versus that initial $140 of risk. So that's the second way we could plan this out based on your view of things. And that's part of the beauty of Trader Vision, is you have that ability to go multiple ways and easily see the different scenarios. So that will be our trade idea for today. Please evaluate this against your view of the market, your trading style, rules and criteria. If you do decide to take it, we wish you the best of luck. If you like these videos, please subscribe and hit the bell button and hit the thumbs up down below. And in either case, we hope to see you in the trading room later today.